welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel. My name is Rate Wrestle. I nearly said YouTube wrong, and we're back with something wonderful. We're doing an Indie-STRAVAGANZA review, which is going to be a monthly majiggy thing. Basically, why we're doing this is because we mainly review British wrestling and then AEW and WWE. And me and DP do watch a lot of other wrestling, like New Japan will be on here. A lot of deathmatch wrestling for the deathmatch viewers, like DP. There'll be the odd British show that we watch on demand but don't go live because there's no point doing like a full video for something that you watch on demand. It seems like a very sketchy way of doing it. But yeah, as I said, I am joined by DP. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a lovely morning when we're recording, obviously, and yeah, I'm just happy to sit down and do these indie reviews.
Yep. And I'd like to throw out that this isn't a supporting communism shirt. Just oh, it's gone. Oh no, I am supporting communism.
It's
Oh, no.
it's self-blurred itself.
I don't even know. There we go. Yeah, so it's just a mock shirt because all you can see at the top is communism, and I was like, "Oh my god, it just looks like I'm a giant
And
communist."
I should also preface by saying that I do not support the actions of CM Punk, even though I'm wearing a CM Punk shirt.
Yes. Everyone's Googled someone at some point. So we will kick off. We'll do the one because you've got no British shows this month because one, you didn't realise until you hadn't watched any that you haven't gone to, so that's fine. So I'm going to be reviewing. These are also, just so you know, they're not really in-depth reviews because if we do in-depth reviews, you've seen the podcast with 4 shows that lasts nearly an hour. If we do an in-depth review, because I think between us we may have like 20 shows, this would be 24 hours of bliss.
Yeah, way too much.
Okay. Roy's Summer Sesh, I saw it on IMDb, good God, IWTV, which is where I watch mainly a lot of my shows. So Summer Sesh is just like their version of SummerSlam. It's like the big blowout during the summer. And it was a very fun show. It wasn't a lot of people think about Roy's and think deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't really that much deathmatch wrestling on here, and there was a lot of people which I've not heard of or not seen, and I'm going to throw out names, and you can let me know if you've heard of them. Some of them I've heard of, by the way. I'm just showing the matches. So the first matchup was Handsome Derek Barmer versus Leonardo Darwin. That Handsome Derek Barmer was that Discord message I said to you and found out it was Chris Tyler.
Right.
Yeah, because I've seen this guy before.
Yeah, you know, I remember just hearing that name just now. I was like, why do I know that name? I was like, but yeah, I don't know normally.
This was a fun match. I rated it 3 stars. It was a fun match. Leonardo Darwin is like the owner. Control of Roy. You okay, DP?
Yeah, sorry, the net completely just dropped in for me. I don't know what happened. Can you repeat what you're saying about him being the owner?
Okay, yeah. So Leonardo Darwin, Leonardo Darwin is technically the owner of Roy's. He's just like a part owner thing for the storyline. But it was a good match. I rated 3 stars. And then a couple of match straight after that, a match that you would have known of. Well, you know the people are. So we had Gene Money and Kid Like Us, who were a tag team in Roy's versus Miles Kamen and Miles' dad. For anyone that doesn't know who Miles' dad is, he's in Roy's. He's called Miles' dad. Everyone else should know him as Wing Commander Nash.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I rate this 2 stars. It's not my kind of match. It was just very much comedy. Comedy element kind of match. It's like you with the hitting each other continuously. You're not that big, and I'm not big in the comedy matches.
Yeah, shout out to Wing Commander Nash's Twitter series where he's like, "Hey, where am I today?" This is some random UK county he's in.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. Like, and some of the matches I've seen to him outside Wing, like as Wing Commander Nash, I really liked. It was just the match wasn't for me. We had Danny Doherty versus Brett Semtex, who I've recently saw at Kumite. I rated it 1.5 stars. It was not like a full-on match. It was just, I believe Brett just kind of wiped the floor with him in the end. Next up, this is a fun match. This was, I can't remember the exact word, and it was like a hardcore war match. I'll find out the word in a cage match while I'm describing it. So it's a 6-man entrant kind of rumble-ish thing, but it was a hardcore match.
Okay.
And the match, Rise, I'm going to go find it while I'm doing that. It had the contestants were B.A. Rose, Ellis Barker, Joe Wade, Leon Slayer was in it, Lou Nixon from Kumite, and Michael Caden. I rated it 3 stars. It was fun. It wasn't over the top deathmatch wrestling, which I did, I like. But the matches in it were quite fun. I might as well tell you that. On Cage Matching, it's in a random order. So this was the main event on Cage Match, but it wasn't on the actual VOD I watched. VA Row, I'm in the wrong thing. Yeah, it's not on Cage Match. Just look, it's not actually on Cage Match, so ignore me completely. Some reason it hasn't been uploaded in Cage Match. Just can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it was a fun match. Rated 3 stars.
Fair enough.
Big Effing Joe was up next. I love a bit of Big Effing Joe, as you know. And he was facing the comedian Nathan Black. Rated 3.25 stars. I think it was my match of the night. It was just fun. Big Joe was always fun to see, just beating the crap out of each other. There's a big story of Big Joe. Obviously, he's legit, and Nathan Black's a bit of a comedian, so he doesn't get on with him. And he ended up picking the win.
Nice.
Then we had the penultimate main match before the main event. We had Boy, who is, I believe, Jake Bandicoot.
Okay.
Versus.
Do you mean Jack Bandicoot?
Jack Bandicoot, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus Man, which is Jake Hackenblade. This match at 2.5. It was fun but weird at the same time, and then eventually it ended with a wrestler called Fangirl. That's what her name is on this. She got involved and ended up being a handicap match. Then they lost because it was like the boys kind of over kind of thing with that. And then main event wise, it was the Rise Women's Championship. I think it was vacant, or it's the first ever match for it, and it was the Nina Samuels versus Natalie Sykes.
Cool.
Have you got to see Natalie Sykes before?
Not live, but I've seen her on VOD.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to a new promotion, which I can't remember the name of them, and I apologise, Ryan Parrott, who's running the shows. I will find that out while I'm segueing, but she's going to be on the show, so I'm looking forward to actually seeing her for the first time. Good God, I don't remember. That's why it's called. It's called. It's called Bridge Pro Wrestling.
Okay,
Bridge
there we
Pro
go.
Wrestling.
BP dub.
Yeah. So at the moment, I might as well shell this for Ryan. So they've got Brandon Jordan versus Chantal Jordan, which is going to be the first time meeting of them two,
cool.
Brother and sister. Hassan Ali versus Levi Muir.
Cool.
You would have seen a few times, haven't you?
Levi Muir is like one of my absolute favourites right now.
There you go. So Ryan's booking a good show. He's got Natalie Sykes versus Shorty.
Wait.
Luke Douglas, the bias continues, versus Steve Valentino versus Joey Scott. So that's like a West Midlands kind of matchup. And I think that's all that's announced so far. And I believe on the poster, there is someone else on the poster. There's Eddie Woods who's on the poster. That's it. Eddie Woods, and Adam Idol, the hot tag. Yeah, Eddie Woods and Adam Idol are the hot tag team.
Okay.
But yeah, so that were Natalie Sykes versus Nina Samuels. I rated 3.25 stars. Nina Samuels picked up the win, so she's the Rise champion. And overall, it was a fun show.
She's getting a lot of titles everywhere she is, Nina Samuels.
Yeah. She deserves it, and she's a good wrestler. I don't think she got the shine in NXT UK, and she was doing pretty well prior to NXT UK.
Yeah.
like on average, it was 7 matches and it got an average of 2.64. That show.
That's
So
decent.
pretty good.
Fair enough.
So what we will do is move over to Japan. This month's one is just New Japan, just so everyone's wondering. We do watch stuff like Stardom, Noah, All Japan, and so forth, but just not enough time. And there hasn't been any banging matches that I know of, except Jake Lee versus Keno. It's supposed to be pretty good, which I need to check out.
Yeah.
So you can lead this, New Japan boy.
Thank you. At least I'm not a Rampage boy here.
Well, you are technically, but
yeah. So just to preface this is going to be mainly just like star ratings and stuff like that. Not really, as you said
watched,
earlier.
10 events, didn't you? So like, yeah, if you break down 10 events in New Japan, we're going to be here for the rest of our lives.
Exactly. So again, it's all G1 Climax. So August 1st up till August 13th, basically. So day 11. Only real standouts for me were Sonada and Gabe Kidd, which I rated 3 stars. Phantasmo and Tai Chi, 3.25. Suji Umino, 4 stars. And Okada Kenta, 3.5. Something you'll see a lot as well with the New Japan shows. It's very half and half. So it's half bad, half good.
Yeah, the majority of them are like that as well. And I think a lot of the climaxes recent years, there's not been like outstanding matches during until you get to the latter stages. Like there was a couple this year, but like, most of the time it's latter stage now, whereas it used to be like one banging match a night.
Precisely. So yeah, day 12, we have Hinari and Ishii for 3.5 stars. Goto and Cobb for 3.75. Eddie Kingston and Tamatonga, 3 stars. Naito and Zack Jr., 3.25. And the main event was Takagi and Finlay, 4 stars. After day 12, we went into the block-specific days. So there's only 4 matches instead of the 8 for all the blocks.
Yeah.
So day 13 was Block A. So we had Suji and Gabriel Kidd, which was 3 3/4 stars for me. We had Ren Narita and Kaito Kiyomiya, which was 4.25. Kaito is fucking good, by the way. Just a side note, he's so good.
He wasn't booked very strong, was he, in this? If I I didn't get to see much of him. I saw him in because I only watched the last 2 shows, which were well mixed with you. I only got to see the last 2 shows, and I don't think he did well in this tournament.
He didn't. No, he got like 6 points, I think it was. He lost to like Hikuleo and like you don't lose to Hikuleo.
Which is bad thinking about it, because he's like one of the top stars in Noah, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like you would like push your relationship with the company to push that guy at least to the finals, like the what's the word?
Or to lose someone like an Osprey, you know? It's like,
but it's like if it was me, I would have put him maybe like against Okada in like semis or something, and then lost there, but like not in the blocks. But yeah, anyway, he didn't qualify. But it's a promise many that. But Sonada and Chase Owens, I rated at 2 1/4. That's probably the weak point of that show. And then we had the main event. It was Hikuleo and Shota Umino, 3.5 stars.
Exciting match, that sounds like.
It was okay.
It's better than it should have been.
Shota carried it for the most part. Because I stick by it, Hikuleo is not good.
A lot of big guys aren't, though, are they? Like that kind of big, as in like he's not.
He's
big,
slender.
Big. He's like tall, but it's not. It's weird.
But we move on to day 14, which is the Block B version of this. So we had Kento and Yoshihashi, 2.5 stars. We had Great Okan and Tai Chi, I rated at 2 stars. Okan's not good in singles. We had Okada and Tangaloa. That was 2 1/4 stars. Tangaloa is not good in singles. And we had a main event, which was the standout. Literally the standout match of the entire night. Ospreay and Phantasmo. 4.5 stars.
I didn't get to see that. Because what happened was, I saw that was highly rated on Cage Match. I don't like randomly watching G1 Climax, as in like I'd like one day and that's it. So I was just like, I'm not going to watch this, which I probably should have. But then I ended up watching the last 2 days, so it's gone like,
Yeah, no, it's absolutely valid. Yeah, I agree. Like G1 Climax, the only reason I'm watching these is because I watched all of them. So I've suffered through the pain of
To
watching
get the bits and the nice bit, yeah. Whereas I didn't want to cheat and go, oh, what a great match that was.
But yeah, that was day 14. Day 15 was the Block C version of this. So we had Tomohiro Ishii and Mikey Nichols. 4 stars. Had no right to be as good as it was. Tamatonga and Hanare, 2 3/4 stars. David Finlay and Eddie Kingston, 3.5 stars. That officially knocked Kingston out of the tournament, which I was surprised by. I thought he might have qualified for it. Finlay went through, and in the main event was Evil One Shingo Takagi, which was 3 stars. Again, a common thing with this G1 is you'll see Evil had a lot of low rated matches. For me, anyway. No one likes, well, not no one, but
no one likes him.
Look, it's early in the morning, okay? But yeah, sorry. So Evil does all, you know Evil. He does all the shit shenanigans.
Evil.
It's so bad.
Yeah, going back to Kingston, I think at least with New Japan stuck to the principle that they're not gonna just push people because, like, I know we argue with Kiyomiya and like bringing like the regime. At least they didn't do the opposite with Kingston and pushed him further. So at least they stuck to a principle.
That's fair enough. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah. But moving on to day 16. So this was the final block night. So this was the D block. So we had Alex Coughlin and Toriano. Oh boy, 2 stars. We had Jeff Cobb and Shane Hayes, 3.2, 3.25 stars. Sorry. We had Zack Jr. and Hiroki Goto, 4 stars, and we will have a match that I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for. Tetsuya Naito and Hiroshi Tanahashi, 2.75 stars.
Is it supposed to be a banger of a match for everyone else? Is it?
I mean, most people I've talked to said, "Oh, it was amazing. It was a culmination of their rivalry, and a way for Naito to solidify himself, getting out the blocks." And I was like, "It was bad. It wasn't a good match."
I honestly haven't even heard that was a match. As in, I can't really. Like, it wasn't on Cage Match, like a high-rated match. I don't even know. I didn't know it existed. Obviously, I knew they would have fought at some point, but like,
yeah, I mean,
something that's been overly hyped.
Yeah, so like with me,
was that 14?
That was the August 9th, 16, day 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I use a mixture of Cage Match and just how people who I talk to as well, and most people who I talk to.
Yeah, it's not even that high rated on Cage Match. It's 7.68 on Cage Match. So like that on average probably is about 3.5.
That's
if we go by star rating.
Yeah, that's 3 3/4, I think. Yeah, because 8 would be 4.
Yeah, like Dave Meltzer rated it 4 stars.
It wasn't good. Again, all my opinion, but
Sabre versus Goto.
4.
You rated 4.25. Meltzer's a Sabre mark more than you.
No, I adore Sabre style, and Cobb's really good as well. But yeah, it's a shame that we didn't get through the block. But
I might integrate these Meltzer ratings into these actually, because that'll be fun to see the 3 variations of me, you, and Meltzer.
But so moving on now to the actual finals section of this. So this is the quarterfinals, day 17. So we had the opener, Tetsuya Naito and Hikuleo, 2.5 stars. It was there.
3 stars.
Yep. We had Will Ospreay and David Finlay, which I rated 4.5 stars.
4 3/4, mate, so not bad.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. We had Evil and Sonada. I rated that 2 stars.
3 stars for Meltzer.
It's fucking evil, man. Like
evil.
And your main event was Kazuchika Okada and Zack Jr. I rated it 4.5 stars.
4.35. 4 3/4. Yeah, so fair enough.
But yeah, again, thoroughly enjoyable show altogether. You had to sit through Naito, Hikuleo, and Evil Sonata to get to the good bits, but and then obviously that's replaced by the tag matches beforehand, which I don't cover.
No, that's fair enough. Like, when we get into 18, I'm not going to mention the tag matches. Like, I'll mention there's one good one on both shows, which I'll bring up, but you can obviously lead this. So continue.
Yeah, fair enough. So we move on to day 18, which is the semi-finals. So obviously the 4 blocks have come down to, the final 4. So we have Okada taking on Evil.
Yes.
I rated that 3.25 star.
Mounter rated it. Let's have a look. We'll tell you what I rated and what Mounter rated, and we'll see what happened. So Mounter went with. What did you go with?
3.25.
He went with 4.5 stars.
Oh, fuck off!
And then I went with 3.5. So like I was just slightly more than you, but like not dog.
Yeah, no, but
Evil
you're
nerfs matches. I'll be honest.
like
Before we get into the banger of a match, that was the second match. I'll shout out. I had a 3-star match for Eddie Kingston, Tanahashi, Taguchi, and Ishii versus TMDK. That was a fun match. But the rest of the tag team matches were just there to be there.
fair enough. I just didn't watch it whatsoever. I don't watch the tag
matches. Did you watch? Because obviously you watched a lot of the climax. Did you watch the tag matches prior to these, or did you just give up?
Eventually gave up. I was trying to.
You tried. At least you tried. Because I came in late, I deserve to watch these.
most of the block nights didn't have tag matches, so it was just 8 singles matches.
Yeah.
Which was the whole pain in itself because it was no break. It was like just single.
Tinder.
Swipe.
Oh, good God. Anyway, let's get into the main event of this.
So, yes, semi-finals main event was Tetsuya Naito and Will Ospreay. This was a very good match. I do feel Ospreay carried it. 4 stars, I rated it.
Okay. I rated it 5 stars because I really enjoyed it, and I just like the story. But I think Ospreay can carry any match to a 5-star, except Chris Jericho. And then Mounts rated it. I'm guessing this is 6 stars, isn't it? Yeah, 6 stars.
Oh,
I will never break my 5-star scale, just so anyone knows, because you just get pointless at that point.
Yeah.
Like it's fair enough he's done it and he explained it. It's just not something I will be doing because if you might as well. You don't see movies get 6-star ratings and stuff like unless it's out of 10, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very good match.
That's fair enough. Yeah. And obviously your right to an opinion, my right to an opinion, it makes no difference.
Makes no right.
That is correct, yes. So I believe we should go forward unless you have anything to add about semi-finals.
No, yeah, there's nothing major that I can think of from that show.
Fair enough. So to move on then to the final show, the final night of the G1 Climax. A night celebrated by one main event and a bunch of tag matches.
Yeah, so before we bring up the main event, yeah, all the rest of the tag matches were pretty naff, but I did like the Los Angeles and Arblaze. Their Upon match versus United Empire, right? That 3 stars.
I had that 3.5. So yeah, I agree.
Oh, you did end up watching it.
Yeah.
What of them did you rate? Any of the other ones?
I did rate the other ones. Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's have a quick scan of them. We won't go into depth for them.
Okay. So Kaito Kiyomiya and Ryohei Oiwa against Oscar Lube and Toriano, 2 stars. We had Master Wato, Shota Umino, Tomoaki Yama, and Yuji Nagata against Strong Style and Yuta Nakashima, 2.5 star.
2 3/4.
We had Chaos and Eddie Kingston, Hiroshi Tanahashi against Tenkoji, Tagamask, and Togi Makabe, 2 3/4 star.
2.5.
But just a little bit. We had TMDK against Bishamon and Young Lions, 2 3/4 star.
2.5. We're gonna have that wrestle talk moment where we agree on one. It's gonna be.
So we have Guerrillas of Destiny and ELP against Bullet Club. I rated that 2.25 star.
2 3/4.
Obviously we had LIJ and United Empire, which I mentioned already, 3.5 star.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the penultimate match was the House of Torture against Just 5 Guys, 1.5 star.
2 1/4. For anyone, before we get into the main event, my DP's ratings aren't really on the web, but my ratings are on my website, which I'll get DP to whack in the fucking description just so you can see my crap. I don't plug it at all. It's just there for me, basically, just so I can keep a track of what I've done.
Yeah, like imagine a fucking portfolio. Or
DP's seen the database. No one will ever see the database. The Excel sheet is insane. 4 years of wonder, and obviously I backdate as well, so I've been watching old WWE pay-per-views, and they're in there, so it's not just modern wrestling. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
So yeah, this was the main event. Tetsuya Naito against Kazuchika Okada, the feud that seemingly will never end in New Japan.
It'll never be over. That's the way to say it. Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of 6 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars, 10 stars, whatever.
2 stars.
I rate.
That's what I was breaking waiting for.
I rate this 4-star. I know that's probably low compared to what you've got, probably, but
Yep. So I broke my scale. 5.5 stars. So Meltzer, we might as well go with the Meltzer rating. Is that 4.5, 4.25, isn't it? 5.25 the Meltzer scale, I think. I went with 4 3/4. I enjoyed it.
yeah,
not as
so.
much as Naito and Ospreay, which was my match of the tournament because I watched 2 matches. I watched 2 nights.
I'm just going through my ratings now, but that's not my match of the night. My match of the tournament, sorry, would have been. I'm sure I did a 4 3/4 somewhere. Bear me a minute.
But now we know if we're to keep continuing this industry and of Gander, I might watch more of the climax because it's fun to discuss the rounds. But then I also have to watch every flipping AEW and WWE pay-per-view crap, and it ruins my life.
Okay, no, so I'm going to 4 3/4. So my highest rating for the G1 was 4.5.
Who was that again?
A bunch of matches. There's a few of them.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll go through it all again and have to read through it all. It's fine.
Yeah, check back. We'll keep an update of that. But yeah, so Naito, because we didn't really give winners and losers and stuff like that.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
Naito with this one, we might as well go in. Naito won, and he's going to be it's Wrestle Kingdom, isn't it?
Yeah,
climax.
it's his third G1 climax as well that he's won.
Yeah, what I like about New Japan is the climax is the Wrestle Kingdom's in January. This is in September or August. So there's like 5 months, or just under 5 months until Wrestle Kingdom. That's how they can build them like a main event.
Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
if you win a tournament in AEW WWE, it's the next night sometimes.
I mean, yeah,
This is
look,
you should pay attention to this, as in, because obviously we moan a lot about there's sometimes there's a big gap between a pay-per-view and them building a story. New Japan can do it.
Yeah,
And they're not even story driven, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's very different because New Japan aren't story driven. They have like narratives and stuff that they feel over, like, oh, look at this, they fought in 2014, and because of that match, he's fueled to beat him here in 2024. It's
like CM Punk versus Samoa Joe.
yeah, right, literally, yeah.
Do you remember CM Punk?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, poor Phil Brooks. But yep, so that's the end of the Japan segment. Of this.
We have one more. Sorry, for Japan.
We've got one more!
Sorry,
I forgot you watched. Yeah.
So we have the show on the 19th of August, which is the New Japan All-Star Junior Festival.
Ooh.
So this was like a celebration of everything Cruiserweight, everything Junior.
I didn't give a shit, just so you know.
Oh shit, some on my own shit. But no, yeah, I mean everything. As far as I'm aware, everyone in the show was a junior. I think that's accurate of me to say that.
Judging by the card, yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the ratings itself. We had a pre-show match, which was 2 guys I don't know, but it was Goldie and Vinny Pacifico. I rated it 2 stars. It was all right.
I've supposedly seen Vinny Pacifico. If that helps. Don't know when. Don't know where.
Fair enough. But getting into the main meat of things, we had the opener match, which was Matt Sydal and Yo taking on Bushi and Shun Skywalker. This was fun. 3 stars, I rated it. Fun opener. Classic cruiserweight match as well that you get from New Japan, but just better.
Vinny Pacifico, because I need to know where I found it. He wrestled Joe Gacy on NXT once in a dark match as Adam Harding. That's what I saw him on. Continue.
Fair enough. So then we go into something that they called the All-Star Junior Tournament, which was only 4 people. So, whatever. But this was a first round match, not a semi final. We had Kevin Knight taking on Clark Connors. I rated as 3 stars. Again, just solid, just solid.
What I'm going to do for this, because Mount hasn't rated, I'm just going to give you the average cage match rating. Obviously, a lot of my United States stuff when we get there, there's probably not going to be cage match rating, so it's just going to be me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Matt Sardale match was a 6.17, which probably is about 3.25. Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, 3.25. 6.29.
Yeah. So the other first round match was Mike Bailey and Francesco Akira. I rated this 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. As I do most Akira and Bailey matches, like
Bailey's incredible. Akira's incredible as well. It was 7.86, so probably a 3.75 on cage match. Yeah.
Fair enough. And that was it for the first round, or semi-final, or whatever you want to call it. And then we go into a bunch of tag matches, which wasn't too bad compared to the way New Japan do it normally. Because with New Japan, you have a main guy.
All at the start of the show as well, yeah.
Yeah, you have a main guy, a young lion, and an old guy, and it was like, yeah, they're going to fight this stable.
Really crap joke.
So we had Rich Swann, Ryusuke Taguchi, and a DKC taking on Jack Cartwheel, Starboy Charlie, and fucking Real One.
For anyone that doesn't know who a Real One is, I'm assuming, I haven't clicked on it, but I believe that's Enzo Amore.
That is fucking Enzo Amore.
Enzo Amore, guys, is in New Japan Wrestling.
I didn't look at the card beforehand. I didn't know who was in these matches, and I was like, okay, cool. Trios match. That's cool. Who's this guy in the fucking red robe thing? I'm like, that's fucking Enzo. That's Enzo Amore.
Certified G and a bona fide stud.
Oh, he fucking talked about Bullet Club and how they're called like Tug Club or something.
Tug Club. Let's go. Let's move past Enzo Amore. What did you rate this crap?
It's 3 stars. It was good because Real One wasn't involved that much. And when he was, you could see he hadn't trained, he hadn't improved since WWE. Like, he was still Enzo Amore, and he wrestled like Enzo Amore.
Cage match liked it slightly more, I'd say. They've rated 6.47, which probably is just at 3.25, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing else for it. The rest of the guys shine. Starboy Charlie is fine. Jack Cartwheel's fine. Rich Swann is good. DKC's good. Taguchi's alright. But Taguchi's a bit more of a odd for me. But yeah, 3 stars for me. It was alright. We move on swiftly to Alex Shelley, Chris Bay, and TMDK taking on Ace Austin, Cheeseburger, TJP, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Again, this sort of ignored the New Japan stable stuff. 3.25 star rated this. Yeah, it was fun. It's going to be the same thing all the time. It's a fun multi-man cruiserweight junior match. I haven't really got notes for this stuff. It's just what I remember.
This isn't going to be like a notes-based series, because if we have notes and stuff and go on, this will be like 4 or 5 hours. Like, we'll give you ratings, we might give you the match winner, but just check the shows out if you really want to see them. If you were podcast and the British reviews is where we'll actually start going fully in depth for stuff.
Yeah, bless her.
It just stretched and just looked like it was there. They rated at 6.82, which is 3.5.
About 3.5,
yeah.
So then we had a 5-way match, which probably would have got all the ratings if you like the junior stuff or the cruiserweight stuff. We had Sobriano Jr. taking on Dragon Kid, taking on Fugaz, taking on Casey Navarro, taking on Leo Rush.
I don't think I've seen Fugaz.
Well, watch a show and you'll watch him. It was 3.
Wow.
It was 3.25 star for me. It was fun. It was a cruiserweight. It was jumpy. It was exactly what you thought it would be from these 5 guys.
Just 5 guys.
Just 5 guys.
3.5 cage match. I'm just going to give you the rating now because I can't be asked to work it out. 3.5.
Fair enough. So moving on to another tag match. It was El Desperado and Mal taking on the East-West Express, which is Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. Fun match. 3 and 3/4 stars. I rated this.
Yeah, it's probably on average a cage match as well. Sounds
Yeah.
a very good match. Look,
Yeah,
the
it was
people in
fun.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was great. Not well, I've definitely maybe like 4 and 1/4, but it was fine. It was good. I think the issue with Nick Wayne as well is he's young and has a lot to come through still. So I think with him it's a bit more. He's good. It's just I think there's more.
He had a father,
There's more potential. That's all.
and his father's dead. Oh, did you see the meme? This is going to be fun. Dennis Rodman, I think he was on Collision last
He was,
night.
yeah.
Did you see the Christian Cage meme? Dennis Rodman's dad died recently. Like Christian Cage.
It's like a fucking Cody gif where he's like but Christian going like, huh?
Dennis Rodman, your dad. You had a father. He's probably about 90. Now he's dead. So morbid, but funny at the same time.
We go into the penultimate match of the night, which was the Philly Cheesesteak Cup 3-way tag team ladder match. Never thought I'd see the day where a ladder match was riddled with comedy spots, but here it was. It was Doki and Lowrider taking on Blake Christian and Master Wato, and Hiromu Takahashi and Rocky Romero.
Who's Lowrider?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it just seems so random. Just like there's the odd person, like Fukaz seems to be alright, but Lowrider doesn't seem to be fitting in this at all. We can continue.
But yeah, I rated this 3 stars. I like the matches. It's probably one of my favourite match type besides like the Royal Rumble. But you put on a match with comedy spots, it's gonna take away from it. This was easily a 4, maybe 4.5 star match with the names involved, and then the comedy just takes away from it for me.
Yeah, cage match rated about a 3.5 star.
Yeah, fair enough. And then we get into the final match of the night. It was the All-Star Junior USA Tournament final between the winners from the earlier first round, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. I rated this 4.25 star. Mike Bailey wins. Mike Bailey is the fucking best. He's so good.
Yeah, like Mike Bailey carries well, I don't say carries matches because a lot of people he goes against are pretty decent as well, but like you can't really have a bad Mike Bailey match.
Yeah.
Cage match rated are about 8.17, which probably is in and around 4.25.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So,
all I was gonna say was imagine Mike Bailey with Ospreay, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that last year at Pro. Like fucking hell, like.
Mike Bailey's so good.
But yeah, that was the end of the All-Star Junior Festival, and I believe that brings an end to the Japan section.
Yes, so it's officially done now, after I preambled and completely forgot that you had another show. So now for anyone that's into deathmatch.
I'll probably have like time marks on the video.
Yeah, it's probably best to so any like promotion that's I like to do because I know like AWR and stuff like our stuff if they want to just see the review. So we had to have a cut-off point with these because like otherwise I don't know when we would have started. So Prestige, All Rise, I watched and we decided like after that there'll be a cut-off. Good show, go check that out anyway. So I'm just going to pick these out in the order that I watched them in. So we're going to go straight to ICW No Holds Barred, which is probably the most well-known deathmatch kind of scene in America at the moment, except for like if you think Combat Wrestling, Zone Wrestling, but they're not really as thriving anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they do now thinking about it. But this was the 50th show, because they do volumes now for ICW No Holds Barred. So I'm just going to go through ratings, as I said, because it seems it's better than us giving a full detailed breakdown, which was fun. I will go with the odd minimum information, because some stuff I have to mention because it was stupid or insane. Yeah. Not an ICW, it's just in general. So we had Eric Ryan versus Jaden Newman. All right, that's 2 3/4 stars. Let me know if you know of any of these. Like Eric Ryan, I'm assuming you heard of. GCW and stuff like that. Jimmy Lloyd versus Tommy Vendetta. I rated 2.5 stars. my match of the night was Matt Tremont versus Casanova Valentine. I rated that 3.5 stars.
What a name.
Casanova
Valentine.
It's so good. And then think of what you think Casanova Valentine looks like.
Okay.
What do you think he looks like?
Pictures, okay. I'm picturing him.
Yeah, what do you think Casanova Valentine looks like?
I don't know. Probably like well built, probably like 6'3", something like that. That's all like I guess Adam Maxted sort of looking.
No. Casanova Valentine looks like it's probably like a variation of Cactus Jack.
Oh really?
Big beard, long hair, scruffy as hell. Just looks like he wants to beat someone up. But fantastic name.
Fair enough, yeah.
Danny DeManto, the owner of ICW, versus Bobby Beverly. We're at that 3 stars. John Wayne Murdoch versus one of my favourite wrestlers so far around recently, Dr. Redacted. Have you heard of Dr. Redacted?
I have not, no.
Oh, good. We're at this 3.25 stars. Dr. Redacted, like he's got the size of Paul Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He's bald, but he comes out in a like a surgical blue
apron
trousers top,
thing.
yeah, and then like a lab coat. And yeah, he's just called Dr. Redacted, and he bleeds he just bleeds.
That's insane. That's a great name.
Yeah. Talking of great names, we had the ICW champion Hoodfoot versus Louis Ramos. Low life Louis Ramos for anyone that knows him. 3.25 stars. Then the main event was Brandon Kirk versus Cruel. If you ever watched MLW, Cruel is Logan Creed. I can't remember. Mads Kruger, I think he was in MLW.
I think I might have seen him on one of the deathmatch tournaments.
Yeah, he's like 6. He's like massive, 6'7", like mask. He's like a perfect horror villain.
Sorry, I meant Bloodsport. Sorry, not deathmatch.
Yeah, he would have been on there. Yeah, so Cruel is just like a horror villain. This match. He got stabbed in the heart with a bone kind of flute thing. You thought he was dead, and then he wasn't dead, and he choked out Brandon Kirk with one hand in front of his wife, Casey Kirk, who is also a wrestler for what you say. I rated 2 3/4 because it was a bit of shenanigans, I'll be honest.
Just casually gets stabbed in the heart, dies, he'll come back to life. He chokes someone out, and then the wife's there too.
Yeah. So that's the end of OCW. It was a decent show.
Jesus.
As I said, there's like 9 shows going to be covering. One of them is 2 days long, so it's not going to be as dramatically sound. So we're going to move to a promotion which I'd never heard of until I started getting into IWTV. So we had Asylum Wrestling Revolution. So they held a deathmatch tournament, literally called Asylum Deathmatch Tournament. There wasn't any fancy names of it. I was worried about this tournament at the start because the first few matches, it wasn't full-on deathmatch, as in like they'd have one. It's like I was worried until I saw the next show, and I'll explain it there. But they only had they'd have a bat, and that'll be the whole thing in the match. Right. And they were like, when you think of deathmatch, you think littered with crap everywhere. There'd be a bat with thumbtacks. I was worried about it.
Yeah.
So Cole Raderick versus Austin Ryan, I rated 2 3/4. Rebecca Payne versus Alex Stretch, I rated 2.5. Dale Patrick versus Bull Bronson, I rated 1.5. Sarah Dokes, or Docs, I think it is, versus Hardway Heater, 2 stars. Hoodfoot, he's back, baby. Versus Brian Richards, 1.5. Brad Cash versus Chet Ripley. These are all names to you, aren't they? 2 3/4 stars.
I mean, I knew Cole Redrick.
Yeah. Do you hear this name? I Am the Provider versus Remington Raw, 2 3/4.
Wait.
It's all one word. I am. So I capital, am as in the thing, and then the with a capital T, and then provider in all capitals. No idea.
That's amazing.
And then my main event, my match tonight was Matt Tremont versus Jimmy Lyon. And we're at that 3 stars. Then we went into the next night, and this is where it kind of kicked up, and there was a lot of violence and a lot of hardcore. So I think it was just they threw it all onto the second night. Yeah. So luckily, when I watched a tournament, I didn't go for the first round. I went, you know what? I'm not going to watch the second part. I kind of stuck in. So we had Nate Matthews versus Aaron Atlas. These are just random matches they had during the night as well. And we're at that 3 1/4 stars. Young Dragons, which is Dale Patricks and Josh Crane versus the Bruisers, Mitch Malik and Robert Ketchum, are at 2 3/4. Eric Dillinger, which we've talked about. Why, Eric? Why? Versus Dexter Orver versus Damian Real versus Damon Real, 2 3/4.
Brothers?
And we had Mickey Knuckles. Have you seen Mickey Knuckles?
No, it sounds like a gangster who lives in New York.
Mickey Knuckles, go check her out. She's just insane. I don't know how old she is. I don't want to give her a bad I don't want to misage her. But she reminds me of a crazy mom. 3 1/4. She fought Remington Raw for the title. Well, rated 3 1/2 stars. Dale Patricks versus Austin Bryan are rated 2 1/2. Brad Cash versus Darren Dokes 2 1/4. Matt Tremont versus Alex Stress 2 3/4. And then they had a main event, which was my match tonight, which was a final match. Brad Cash, Dale Patricks, Hoodfoot, and Matt Tremont on a fatal 4-way, and I rated that 3 1/4 stars.
Fair enough.
What did you think of the show? Just been saying ratings.
Well, based off what you said, it sounds like it was a very decent deathmatch show.
Yeah, as I said, like the first half of the show left much to be desired. But the second half kind of pulled it out of the bag, and I kind of got interested and said, look, it was a good show. It was just I was worried when I first saw the first half, and I was like, this isn't going to be a good show. But no, they definitely did pull it out of the bag, which was good to see.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to another deathmatch tournament because they all happen in the summer. So there won't be as much of this when we get into the winter. So don't worry, people that don't give a shit about deathmatch wrestling. We had Ruthless Pro Wrestling's King of the Kill. That's what you call a deathmatch name.
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yep, so these are more well-known deathmatch wrestlers, so you probably hear a few of them. There was a few matches weren't deathmatch matches. So we kicked off with a trios match, which was Randy West versus Chuck Stein versus Mongo. We're at a 2 3/4 stars. Then we start getting into the deathmatch side of it. So we had Crazy King versus Dr. Redacted. We're at that 3 1/4 stars. That was a fun match. Dr. Redacted, every match he's in, he's quite fun. He's back. It's Hoodfoot versus Judge Joe Dredd. Right at 2 3/4. Tommy Vendetta versus Remington Raws, 2 3/4. And then Joel Bateman versus Schlack. We all love Schlack. You know Schlack.
I know Schlack, yeah.
No gods, just Slack. 3 1/4 stars. I enjoy Slack, I'm going to be honest. He's just chaos. He's like he's like Big Joe. Big Joe is just described as a whirlwind of a wrestler, and so is Slack. Doesn't matter what's happening.
Yeah,
they probably plan stuff at the back, and Slack goes, no, this is what's happening in the ring.
Like, Slack to me looks like Brian Cage if Brian Cage was wider.
Thought you were going to say something dark then. Not Brian Cage, it went down a dark path. Then we had a tag team match, which was Midwest Scum, which is Dread King Logan and Zach Thomas versus Hardcore 69, which is Madman Pondo, for anyone that remembers Madman Pondo. Proper old school legend.
That's Sick Nick.
Yeah, Madman Pondo.
Shit.
Do you know Madman Pondo?
Yeah. I used to watch that back on wrestling all the time.
yeah. And then he was teaming with Shadow WX. Shadow WX is Mr. Pogo.
Oh!
So, we're at 2 3/4. It was a very slow down match because obviously just two old guys versus two young guys. But I enjoyed it and I like the throwback of seeing both of them wrestle.
That's a pop for my younger self, that is.
Yeah, IWTV. Check that one, man. Dr. Redacted versus Hoodfoot, rated 2 1/2. Joel Bateman versus Tommy Vendetta, rated 2 3/4. Then we had a title match, which was Schwartzy versus Herzog. Herzog, you need to check out.
Herzog.
Just check the entrance and you'll go, oh my God, what is this? Not in a bad way, but no, what is this? 2 3/4 stars. And then the match of the night, which is good for a final, Dr. Redacted versus Tommy Vendetta, rated 3 1/2 stars. And I believe Dr. Redacted picked up the dub.
Good job, Dr. Redacted.
Dr. Redacted.
What you won, we'll never know. Redacted.
Yeah, we don't even know who you are. moving on to some deathmatch wrestling. We had Matt Tremont's promotion, which is called H2O Wrestling. Did you know he ran a promotion?
Didn't Matt Tremont like retire or something?
He went full Terry Punk. I think he retired for like 4 minutes. Genuinely, I think he only retired, and then he came back a few months later. Was he on this ICW show? I'll have a quick check. Yeah, he was. So, in cage match history, he retired. His last match was October 2020, and he was back in 2021 in October, so he retired for a year. But yeah, Matt Tremont's promotion, No Rain. So this is a mixture of a lot of Matt Tremont's very good with showcasing his own dojo kind of guys, I'd say.
Okay, yeah.
With a mixture of the well-known people, and there's a few people that are just very good on the show. So we had a 6-man tag, I believe, which was Alex Stretch, Cecilio Vega, Duncan Aleem, Lady Bakley, Leroy Robinson, and Rocket. Oh, and Ryan Braddock, so I think that was 7. These are all, I think, are H2O like dojo guys versus Anthrax, Brax, Brian Neal, Edward Hawkins, Frank Bonetti, Ferretti, and JB Anderson. Rated 2.25 stars. It was fine, but you could tell it was just there. Then we had Declan Grant versus Christian Napier. I rated 2 stars. I wasn't really into it, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Then we started getting to a bit of the decent kind of like action. We had Marcus Mathers. Have you got a chance to see him yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he wrestles in GCW a bit, I think. I always remember him because it just reminds me of Eminem and Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
He fought Jimmy Lyon. I rated that 3.25 stars. Really enjoyed that. Brandon Kirk's back after getting choked out by Crawl. He faced Ziggy Haim.
What is kayfabe, people? What is kayfabe?
On the indies, you could die in one show and be on the next show. So it's Austin Luke versus Ryan Redford versus Gigi Everson. I believe these are dojo guys that I don't know much about these guys, so they might not be, but these are the more experienced.
Okay.
So rate that 2.5 stars. Kennedy Copeland versus Cole Raderick, 2 3/4. Then we had Ron Bass Jr.
Oh my god.
Ron Bass Jr. Ron Bass's son.
Is he also the outlaw?
He looks like an outlaw. Not in a bad way. That wasn't like a shade thing. I just realised the macho outlaw. No, he genuinely looks like, if you picture an outlaw, that's what he looks like. He was supposed to be teaming with Sawyer Wreck, but she wasn't there. So he defended his title in a 3-way tag match by himself. He didn't win. And he was facing Aaron Rourke and Becca. Who you must have heard Becca by now.
Is that Becca like B3 CCA?
B3,
Yeah.
And Chaos Control, which was Cecilio Vega and Rocket, who already fought that night. That was 3 stars, and I think Chaos Control picked up the win. We had Bam Sullivan versus Mouse, which was a 3.5 star match. My favorite, one of my favorite matches of the night. Then we had one called Manders. You definitely know him.
I know Manders, yeah.
Yeah, he fought Matt Tremont and beat him in a 3 3/4 match. That was the match of the night. Cool. And then he faced Austin Luke straight afterwards and lost, which rated 2.5 stars. But H2O is a fun show if you get to see it. You're never going to see it, are you?
I mean, I might one day. Who knows?
Well, you got IWTV now. Get
it.
And then we're at our final show.
Oh shit!
And it isn't a deathmatch show, DP. Who knew that I might watch something that's not deathmatchy?
Oh, so I've got that putting a mark here on the video, so at the end of deathmatch.
End of deathmatch. But this is, I just randomly picked it because there's some randomly good matches on this, like sound good matches.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people you wouldn't have heard of because I hadn't heard them until I got into this. So we kicked off with T-Ray Watford versus Brick Savage.
What was the show? Sorry.
Oh yeah, it'd be good if I decided who it was, wouldn't it? Yeah, so we had Inspire AD, and the show was called Rule in Hell.
Okay.
I think I mentioned the H2O one. It's called No Rain. If I didn't mention it, I'm not very good at remembering to mention the name. So T-Ray Watford versus Brick Savage, which was a fun big guy match. I rated 3.25 stars.
Yeah.
Shimbashi versus Danny Orion. I rated 3 stars. We've got Dmitry Alexandrov, who's one of the champions there, versus Ollie Summers. I read that 2 3/4.
Mhm.
Then we get into some people that you may have heard of and may know. We had Will Allday versus Matt Cross.
I know Matt Cross, yeah.
Yeah, you would know Matt Cross. I rated 2 3/4 stars. That was a fun match.
He was in All In.
Yes. Yes, he was. We had a 3-way women's match, which was Rachel Rose versus Killer Kate versus Emmy Camacho. I rated 2.5 stars.
Oh,
Then we had Yuya Uemura.
Who's that guy?
Uemura. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think I said Uemura, but
Uemura versus Gary J. 3.25 stars. Just hitting each other.
that's fair.
Uemura was busted. It was fun. We had Brian Keefe versus Francesco Akira. So he was on the show. I'll rate that 3 3/4.
Shout out to the pair of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Brian Keefe was on their page as well. So.
Very, very good match. And then we had a tag team gauntlet to end, which I'm not familiar with most of the teams. There's a few people I know from the teams, but I'm not familiar with the teams. So we had Chris Cruz and Stud Stash versus Fly Death, were the only team I knew of, which was Warren J and Zach Zilla, versus a team called Superiority Complex, which was Exodius Prime, who's been on AEW a few times.
Yeah.
And Stephen Wolf.
Okay.
Versus the Born Haters, which were Matt the Wrestler, and that's a fantastic name.
That's good.
And Mel 5K.
Yep.
Versus Dream Warriors, which was Space Tiger Jr. and Zeke Rose. Versus Great Depression and Hollywood Strangler.
What?
You would have thought Great Depression was the tag team name.
Yeah.
I know that's the wrestler's name. And then finally, Houston Hendricks and Kari Wright. I rated 3 stars. It was a fun match to end it. Was never going to beat Francesco Akira versus Brian Keefe.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the Indie-Stravaganza reviews, I believe, because I don't think you've got anything else in the bag.
I don't know.
Yep. So, yep. Let us know what you thought of the shows, because we'll be tagging in the companies and like tweeting out and stuff like that, just to kind of get a bit more fan base and get more of discussion going on.
Yeah.
With the indie wrestling, DP will watch more than New Japan next month. It was just the climax was on, so that takes up a lot. And then obviously we're stuck with watching AEW and Raw and WWE because I was on holiday and
that was the main reason. Yeah, that was the main reason why I couldn't watch anything else, because I was already watching fucking SmackDown. Collision, Raw, Dynamite.
I'm probably going to take the hit this week because technically you should be watching 6 shows this week, but I'm doing it by myself, so you don't need to watch Raw and SmackDown.
I'll watch Indies.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd just be weeks. Because Frozzy might not be back for a few weeks, depending on his moving situation. So we don't know when Frozzy may return.
Yeah, if
rest in peace.
He would.
Anyway, we might as well get a poll out. If you want Frozzy to leave HCW, the Ryback poll. Do you want Frozzy to retire?
When do you want him back? Next week? In 2 weeks? Retire.
Never. I want you to delete him off the channel. I don't want to see any videos with his face in it. Frozzy's never going to check this. As usual, I will call out. DP checks it. DP watches our videos, so he knows when I talk shit about him. Whereas Frozzy doesn't know when we talk shit about him. It'll probably be years until he realises I've talked shit at the end of every episode he's not being on.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same with me. Or it's just I'm probably the opposite, that no one talks shit about me because people are nice. But as usual, like and subscribe. How long have we been recording, DP? This
is over an hour.
Yeah, I'd expect it though for like 15 shows. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Our Twitters are down below. The handles are above. Comment, as I said, about the shows in general. New Japan. I'm not listing everything we've done. So we might as well sign off, DP. You got anything else to bring up?
No, I do not. I am good. I'm gonna have to edit this and find logos and shit, but that is fine. That is my job. I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm going to date this. This should be out by the 10th of September if it isn't, DP. And DP's a busy man though. He's had like 55 reviews to do because he went to the whole all-out weekend, all-in weekend, and then Rev Pro. They may be out by now, or maybe after this. Rev Pro, I think Rev Pro and Riot Cabaret are going to be out prior to this, aren't they?
Should be, yeah. And
yeah, you're on about
the other one might be. It depends.
Hot
really.
Dog Wrestling.
No.
That will be forever known. If you ever go to another one of their shows, I have to be on the review.
Yeah, I was saying, I want you to attend one of their shows in London.
Hot Dog Wrestling. The trouble is, though, the London shows on the weekends are at night for some reason, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Midday, then I can attend.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, well, obviously it's not point off for now, but like, Pro Wrestling Eve run early shows.
Do they? The one I checked was at 7:30 at night.
Well, no, that was because they had two shows. So they had one in the afternoon. But yeah, like I don't know what the reason is. Like, Purpose Wrestling, but to be fair, that is Friday, but they run at like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah, I don't mind weekday ones because that makes sense. But weekends, you should be running at like Kamikaze, for example, or Kumite. They run at like 2 or 3 because it's the weekend. And you
Progress do 3. Rev Pro normally do doors at 3, so that start for half 4.
Yeah, anything that doesn't end at 10, I probably can attend because I need to get back to Birmingham. No, Warsaw, sorry. So it's kind of like I can't leave a wrestling show at 11 o'clock at night and get back from London.
Yeah. So
accommodate me.
Are we leaving this in?
Yes.
Okay.
Accommodate me, British wrestling.
His Patreon is in the description below.
Yes. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye, everyone.
See you guys. Peace.
Frozzy, goodbye.
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah.